because I realized in like my mid to early 20s, there was a span of like a good like 3 to 4 years where I just like the people close to me had just died and stuff, like all the positive male role models in my life.
On the 16th episode of 18th Avenue Podcast.com, meet very funny comedian Dave Squeaky Wheelz. Dave was born with disability, but he does not let it stop him. Inspired by the Chappelle show, Dave launched his career as a stand-up comedian performing for big and small crowd in Toronto and surrounding area where he lived for a few years in 2012, before returning home to Windsor, Ontario, or in the words of Dave, my true home. This is where Dave and I path would cross 6 to 7 years ago at an open mic lounge, Milk, located in downtown Windsor. Upon my recent visit in Windsor, I reached out to Dave. He gladly accepted to do this podcast with me, for which I am always grateful. We talk about life, his family, his role model, and here are some video footages of the things we talked about.
I think he wrote a book, or he has an expression called the bigotry of low expectations, which I like the most because to me, the time that we're in, it's too much identity first and not substance. It's substance later.
If you would like to support the show, consider sharing, liking, and commenting. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this audio video podcast. And don't forget to tag me on anything social at 18th Avenue Podcast.com. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of 18th Avenue Podcast right here in Windsor City. My name is Rico Bottles, and today I'm here with my special guest,
Dave Squeaky Wheelz. I'm the special guest because you've had regular special guests. I could be special.
Definitely special. I'm with that.
Just to double it up, you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, and whatever connotation you want to make, you know, I think the word special, you know, the English language is beautiful that way. One word can have multiple meanings.
Oh, absolutely. I think it can go all direction, really. Who's judging, right?
I don't know. We all are, apparently.
So we're here in Windsor City. If this is your first time tuning into this podcast is sort of about cultural people and their stories. And today is no different. Of course, we will be getting all into it. Dave, how's life? How's everything? Tell me about this city. I was here 6 years ago, then I ran away.
Yeah,
I'm back.
You escaped, man.
I did.
You escaped to Oil Town.
Yeah. Did I make the right move, you think?
Yeah. Are you kidding me? Fuck yeah. I love this place. Don't get me wrong. I have a lot of friends and family here. Windsor's got a very rich history. But what am I, a fucking tour guide? I used to do that before, and it was a very short ass tour because it'd be like, well, this is the hall and these are the stairs. I can't take you up, but let's take the elevator. And the next floor, here's the hall and more stairs. I can't take you up. Okay, fifth floor. There's some white people on the side there who are overlords from previous, and now here's our vice president. Oh yeah, some other stairs that you get the point. Comedy's a rule of threes. Anything past three kind of fucking fucks with the momentum. I love your glove, by the way, dude. I said it's like a Michael Jackson glove.
Oh, definitely, dog.
Or there is this porn star named Nina Hartley. Whenever she goes in,
she operates with one glove.
Yeah. She dude. And I don't care if I sound like a dork. Just saying I fucking watch this video, whatever. She has like an instructional video of like how to like teach people how to please your woman better.
Really?
Yeah, and she wears the black
gloves. Oh wow!
And goes
what have you learned? She wear it like just on one hand or like on both hands?
Just on one hand.
Just on one hand. On the right hand or the left hand? Because that would make all the difference right now.
I think she's right-handed. I didn't pay attention to that part.
Yeah.
In particular, but like she sucks like the one finger, like puts lotion on and then goes to town. And I was sitting there. I said, you know what, dude? I've had problems enough with my hands, but I felt confident after that day. You know, I'll give you a fucking number till the cows come home.
That's wild.
Hey, we gotta come in hot, son.
You gotta come in.
The first 10 seconds, right?
The first 10 seconds is fucking nice.
You know? I'm actually like standing. Also, I'm not sitting. I just want you to believe. I have a tripod as well, motherfuckers. What's up? Now I'm gonna light this joint.
Yo, go ahead, do your thing. Do your thing.
We're in Canada. We're in the year of our Lord 2020. I wear a mask during sex.
Is that the prayer? The year of our Lord 2020. do you say amen or what do we say now? What do you say? It's 2020. What do you say?
We say yes, queen, and we say them they, because I'm gender neutral. I'm gender fluid. I got some other gender fluid in the bathroom somewhere. Whatever. I'm trying, guys. I haven't been on stage since fucking March, so fuck you, okay? What do you want from me, okay? I can, Anyways,
all right. Yeah, exactly. Where do we go? I mean, the bar is set so freaking high right now that I'm like, shit. Where do we go from there? You need like a perfect segue, I think.
Segue?
Yeah.
I have that in the closet. Works like shit,
It works.
Yeah, it's the one that Paul Blart has. The shitty segue.
So, oh man. Yeah. Well, I'm sure by now the audience know that you're a comedian.
Yeah, I'm a prop comic. Clearly, I'm actually not disabled. This is all fucking sham.
Yeah, this is all intentional.
I'm a Pilates instructor.
So it's like water polo or some shit like that going on.
Water polo. Black people we're known for swimming.
But you don't have you don't fucking got to worry about hair, man. It's like
Yeah, I guess that makes me more aerodynamic.
Yeah, exactly.
Anytime people ID, I'm not even that old, but when people ID me now, I'm like, oh, thank you. That's fucking cool.
You feel like it's a compliment?
Why not?
I guess when it gets to a certain certain stage in life, you're just like, okay, cool. You it's gonna ID me? Okay, cool. That's nice. Thank you. I feel good now. I feel better. I couldn't wait to get ID. So you haven't been on stage for some time. How does that, being in this situation right now where everybody's being quarantined, how is that making you? How's the situation? How are you getting around that?
How am I getting around it? What I just partook in definitely helps a lot. I don't think I would have made it through the first 2 months without that. It's it sucks because we were talking about schedule before we turned this on.
That's right. Yeah.
I was listening to I was chatting with a buddy of mine who's also he's a law enforcement person as well, so we can go into some of that if you want. I know this is a cultural show, whatever. We're two black guys.
It's all good.
They expect us to talk about
stirring up some shit. Yeah.
Whatever. I'm gonna be the Thomas Sowell of this podcast. Just throw fucking 180.
I like that.
He's a famous Republican dude or whatever. I think he wrote a book, or he has an expression called the bigotry of low expectations, which I like the most because to me, the time that we're in, it's too much identity first and not substance. It's substance later. Mm-hmm. It should be identity should be way down the fucking list. If we're actually looking about real equality, giving people equal opportunity, you should across the board. You should let people have the access and the opportunity for it, but not just give it to them just because they are a certain thing. To me, that once you do that type of shit, then you lose credibility and then you lose just people's merits and people putting forth good work. If something's, the expression "money talks and bullshit walks" applies wholeheartedly. I forgot what we were talking about. This weed's too good.
The weed's too good. But I kind of like where you were going, and I actually want to challenge you on there. And I'm guessing that what you're making references to has been like the recent event with the whole Black Lives Matters and a lot of companies coming out and saying, hey, okay, cool, because you're black now, we're going to give you this. We're going to open that door to give you
with the underground.
You want to know my take on that?
Yeah, let's get into it, man.
Well, here's my take. It's simple and plain. At this point, I don't particularly care how a black person gets the position, because I think that corporations and justice system as a whole have sat around and kind of like built up this very weird time where come 2020, the whole thing blows up, and now we're trying to fill in the gap. If we had been doing the things that we needed to do right from the gate, right from the beginning, where everybody is presented with this equal opportunity, and the only reason why you probably don't get a job is because you're not qualified. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, and to me, that's what we should be striving for.
That's what we should have done right from the gate.
You have to hire somebody just because who they pray to or what they look like.
Well, no, they fucked up, so now they got to fix that. That's not on me. That's not even on the people that's being hired. You understand what I'm saying? That's just like my point of view. It's like, yo.
What I will say to that is that I agree that there's definitely with those higher up positions, there's a bias because you're gonna pick people who you have a shorthand with, or you know that they a shorthand meaning that like maybe you came from the same area, same school, language, whatever cultural tie that you have to that person. You're gonna just hire them, you know. So I think that has a lot to do with it as well, and that's the psychological and human element. Posturing, and that's what bothers me.
Yeah, and it bothers a lot of people. You know, I've had, you're not even like the only person to bring up this concern. I've had friends like, yo, why are we doing this? Why does it have to be this way? And I get that. I understand all of that, but sometime in life it's like, you know, you try to do it the right way.
I just have to say, we had for those who want inside baseball, folks, we had to adjust one of the camera angles. Yeah. And literally the camera angle that Rico put the second one at kind of looks like a TRL like video. And shit, it was like an old fucking what's the name? TLC video rather, where it's like coming from the side, the splash waterfall video. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you never answered the question about the COVID. What's going on with that?
Oh yeah. Let's see. Well, just to give you a timeline of what has happened since all this went down, because we did get on a tangent there. It's funny, the headline stuff will keep you sidetracked, almost like it's manufactured that way. But so what happened was I've been living with like older relatives in my family, like some grandparents and aunts and whatnot. I lived there most of my life. Like I lived in Toronto for like a little bit in 2012. That's when I started doing shows up there. But that was like my main house here in Windsor. And the place that we're sitting in now became available when I got like this placement at the Y. It was like this job creating like thing, and then it actually gave me. After that, I went to do like a little side project, rhythm and cues that I was doing for a bit at C-Jam and whatnot. So everything kind of came full circle, and everything kind of came all at once. So I got like the job and stuff. You know, I had waited forever for this place because like what. I won't give too much away, but like basically I had to wait a long fucking time for it.
Just to get this apartment that you're in now.
Apartment. They put you on a list if you have the means or whatever your income is.
Yeah.
That, so.
What we're talking about, a year, 2 years?
Oh,
like, I don't...
It's much longer than that, man. It was like 2 administrations ago. No, not 2. Like a presidential administration ago. It's like 8,
no way.
10 years.
8-10 years.
Yeah.
To get this apartment.
Yeah, it was half the reign of Kobe and Shaq's championship run. Not even half. More than half. You know, picturing a little bit the Celtics there.
Wow.
But so I like was ready to schedule. I was ready to get this place. I was ready to move in. So I moved in here around November. So my birthday is like the middle of November, and so everything was like quote unquote normal for November till March, basically. So I was just kind of going along as I was, you know, adjusting to life on my own, doing that, and then this fucking quarantine hits, where at least in the beginning, you know, apparently we can treat it now, and there's a lot more breakthroughs on, you know, whatever, follow the news, you know, whatever you want to follow. But so like this is my first time being alone and stuff. You have to kind of adjust in terms of you being responsible for things a little bit more, not having the support, just even having somebody in the house with you is such a change for me. So like those first from March to like May to June was just rough. Just very, I don't know. What's the right way I can describe it? Not just in my head, but I was very, just doing things to distract myself for the sake of distracting. And not try to face the reality. Just facing the reality, and also just you want to preoccupy yourself with something more, something that where you can deflect the pain a little bit, you know. And that's when everything hit me. Because I realized in like my mid to early 20s, there was a span of like a good like 3 to 4 years where I just like the people close to me had just died and stuff. Like all the positive male role models in my life had like started dying. There was my grandfather who like had a long issue with Alzheimer's and stuff, and then there was a friend of mine who was a comic. He had like a heart attack. He had a heart condition, and so that attributed to something. Another close male role model of mine I had known since I was like 15. He died suddenly at Christmas, so it was just like one thing after another. And like...
And this is all in the span of last year?
No, it was from about, let's see, from about like 2012 to up to 2016, 2017. Yeah. So like a span of 4 years, about 4 years there. And like sometimes you just kind of get numb to certain things because life will beat you down if you really let it. And I just kind of felt whatever. So I do shows and you go through the motions, and I do whatever, I go through the motions, but you're pretty disconnected, in whatever way, shape, or form. Like I said, cannabis helps with that because it helps you realize what's going on with you, and that's when the people say, "Oh, I got too paranoid and stuff." It's like you're seeing things about your life that you otherwise would have never paid attention to or never understood. Gives you more sensitivity, a chance to kind of collect yourself and collect your thoughts. So within that quarantine, I think just everything hit me. I hadn't dealt with all that shit before. I hadn't dealt with, and as dudes, it's just different. I don't care what anybody says. We process emotion differently. Everybody processes emotion differently. So in that span, I was like, who gives a fuck? I was just like, who gives a fuck? I don't know when comedy's coming back. I don't know when I'm gonna be able to do it. If it's outside, it's just not the same. There's too many elements at play. There's at least inside you can just have some dickhead like yelling something out, or somebody breaks a glass, or you can play off of it. When you're outside, there's the ambulance going by. There's people coughing, and it sucks because when I first moved into this apartment, I had scheduled face licking parties that I was gonna do. You know, face licking parties.
Face licking party.
Yeah.
Face. All right, you need to get into
it was all
that.
Eskimo kisses. That's
Okay.
how I wanted to be greeted every time. I wanted to just.
So people would just lick your face, or you were allowed to kind of.
I wanted to lick everybody's hand. It was like a high five, but kind of.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, it was going to be.
Okay.
If it wasn't, mask or no mask, you're allowed in.
You.
So I wanted to do that. I wanted to do a fucking licking speakeasy, which I think is gonna pop up. It's like it's gonna be the Untouchables, but fucking with sanitation hands. Sorry, I was getting too fucking serious, even for me. I didn't want it to be a Lifetime movie. I had to do a joke.
Right.
But yeah, so because of that, here's the thing. It's not that I didn't have support and stuff. I know I have people in my life who support me and stuff, but sometimes you just don't want to be fucking bothered. You know what I'm saying, Rico? You don't want to be bothered with, because I feel like the real friends and the real people show up whenever. They show up unprompted. But a lot of people, especially social media and stuff going on, because everything's so magnified now, a lot of it's just lip service. So it was like, I just want to be away from this and be in my own little world and watch a ton of movies, like thrillers and like a lot of cop movies, ironically, because I grew up watching those with my grandfather. So some like the old sitcom Sanford and Son, All in the Family, shit like that. Because I want to know my roots, just in general, which we can get into in a second.
Okay.
Here. But I think with all that and just now, in that like 3 or 4 month span, I decided, you know what, I need more of a schedule. I need to know when I'm going to work out because the gyms are closed. I can't just run outside. I got to force myself to do this. So I forced myself to do that. Just write like a line or two each day, a sentence or two each day, because it's almost like I had to trick myself into getting into writing, into getting into all that again. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't know. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think that does answer my question. But I also want to go back to the part of where you're realizing you're sitting here, suddenly everything is shut down in the country.
Yeah.
People realize a lot of relationships falling apart because they realize they're like, oh, I'm depressed. This is, they're having to deal with themselves now.
Yeah.
Whereas before they never had to do that. So that part where you're sitting in your apartment and you're like, shit, all this shit is coming back and I actually never dealt with this pain. I guess my question is like, how did you eventually just kind of like overcome that? Now you did mention that you started to watch a lot of TV show, but I mean, you would have done that anyway.
I've been doing that, I like movies and stuff. It's funny though, I'm not a big fan of, I don't like loud sounds and stuff, so sometimes it's such a hilarious thing to admit, but I'm going to feel like a bitch admitting it, but whatever. It's like if
you don't like loud sound?
No, if there's like a big loud pop or like a big loud whatever just jumps out at you, because I grew up watching Lord of the Rings and like a couple of the Harry Potter movies, and like, I like some fantasy movies. But if there's like an element or like some shit just pops up, you're like, what the fuck? I like to know what's coming a bit. So sometimes I'll fast forward, like, all right, I feel something's gonna fucking pop up. What's this?
And that's just like, you're not just talking just in reality. You're even talking just about like like a TV show, like a film or something like that, or you just mean like
It depends. Like I don't know if you watched the show The Boys recently. Have you
No,
seen
no,
that?
no.
It's basically if superheroes were real and how terrifying they'd be if they were psychos.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
it's on
I
Amazon.
heard it. I heard about it. I heard
Yeah.
about it just recently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, spoiler alert if you haven't watched it, but whatever. It's been out. There's a scene where there's like a couple exploding, like they have like a congressional meeting and like people's heads start exploding. And so-
Yes, I saw.
yeah.
Yes, I saw
Yeah.
that clip. I saw that clip. Yeah.
Yeah, now, terrifying, on its own with the foreboding music that they played, but I find funny when you play Benny Hill music or like even Three Stooges music, or any type of whatever. Or maybe it's like a little bit of Mozart, when they play the fireworks. That's what I equate it
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
But like that type of shit catches me off guard. But getting back to the initial point, what I did like, yeah, I like doing that stuff. But what got me out of it was, I think, just writing stuff down, talking to people, like I said, that were close to me, taking some responsibility, at least figuring out how I can navigate all this shit, because, I think grocery stores are hiring and other places are hiring, but if you want the reality, it's video games. Video games, I think, you say, oh, it's escapism, it's this and it's that. It's like yes and no. I think people use it as maybe just to kind of construct this ideal version of themselves. And then, the danger is that you take you red pill or you blue pill it, and then you're stuck in that virtual reality. Then it's like Ready Player One. But like I said, it's the opposite for me. If like when you're playing sports games or like the single person game like an Uncharted or like like an Assassin's Creed or whatever, it gives you the feeling of like accomplishing something. You're meeting a goal, so you're getting that morphine drip, feeling like you did something, even though you're not. You're sitting around or whatever. I get the argument too. What I'm saying is that you use the principles that you learn playing that game and apply them in real life. It's kind of what the second Jumanji was, and I think that was a fascinating way that they did that. Was they spoke to a generation of people that think they're wasting their lives, but they say no. You're learning valuable things from this. There's elements that it is escapism. It is just kind of fucking off and finding something else. But you can take, for instance, teamwork. There's addition, learning how to navigate space and time, problem solving, how to act, how to handle pressure. All these things come into factor because then when you learn that you have to breathe or something, or if you're hyperventilating, you make shittier decisions, or if you're more exhausted, you make shittier decisions. So to me, that's what I got from it. It was video games, if you want the truth.
That's wild. I haven't played video games in years, so, but that's incredible. But I did hear one time that playing video games sort of like open up this other part of your mind that allows you to either think better or make better decisions. Or I mean, when I was playing video game, I never got any of that shit. I was just trying to get through a stage.
Your brother was just kicking your ass in FIFA.
Yeah, well, yeah. Oh fuck! Don't even talk about FIFA. I have a cousin of mine. I can't even play him.
In your soccer or football.
Dude, fuck. This guy would beat you like he literally blindfold himself and just freaking beat you and disgrace you all day. So like, I don't even play FIFA for that very reason because I got tired of losing to him so often. But yeah, it's interesting. I guess everybody have a different escape. People deal with this thing differently. For you, it was video game. I remember being out in London and I was talking to a gentleman and I was like, "What did you do during quarantine? How did you deal with the whole thing, having to stay home?" This is not a culture that stays home. This is a culture that says, go out and spend money, go out and buy this, go out and do this, go out hiking.
I think a lot of, not just our ancestors, but anybody who came to this country in the States and the Western world, they came here so that they could not be stuck in one spot. And they wouldn't look for approval for something. They wanted to make whatever it was, even if it's just opening a bakery or just working someplace.
Right. There's a lot of shawarma shops here, by the way. Sorry, not to segue into that, but since you're talking bakery, so many shawarma shops in this place is ridiculous. Like every second business is shawarma.
Those meat pies are a rough next day, though. I must say.
Yeah.
Long ones, they're a rough.
Yeah. You know what? Speaking of which, I think yesterday I was out there and I tried one of it. I wasn't so confident in the chicken, I felt like that. I wasn't, I mean, normally I'm confident in my chicken because, I love my rice and chicken. That's my deal. I'm African.
I was at the fucking Windsor Comedy Fest like a few years back, and I think it was Ryan Belleville, because I want to give credit who this joke. He said, I went to your shawarma places down here. Sorry, shawarma. Yeah, he pronounced it silly. And he said, I don't trust a meat that sweats. I'm not gonna eat that. It's like just sitting there on a wheel all day. Yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, it's a rotisserie technically, but it's a fucking it's an upright rotisserie. So technically the angle of the meat's wrong.
The angle is it shouldn't be like that. Yeah, that's wild. That's funny. Yeah, but no, that chicken was super suspect. I think for me doing quarantine, quarantine just really because living in Alberta, it's just always go 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 go, and being in the oil and gas field, sometimes you're not sure where it's so contract based, like nothing is really guaranteed. It's very contract based, so you go on, you get called and you got to go out. We could get called today and tomorrow you got to get ready, pack a bag, and you're on the road again. So, and you never know when you're coming home, and when you do come home, things are always coming up. That's the point I'm trying to make. So, for me, being able to get in this creative space has been a tremendous challenge and frustration at the same time, because on one hand, I need to be in the oil field so I can make money. On the other hand, I want to pay more attention to my creative outlet. So it's like this conflict, this inner conflict. So I think like with Corona, it really helped me sort of, I wasn't expecting call. Nobody was calling me to go nowhere. So I was really now able to just coin in with all of my focus and all of me into this creative outlet. And, this podcast is something I'm going to start like, 2 years ago and drag that on.
There's a reason why that's the expression. You go all in. Yeah. If it's a passion, what's the expression? Never work a day in your life if you do something that you love.
That's right. And it doesn't feel like work.
No, it's just fun. I get why people are terrified. I've already forgotten that the lights are on us. I don't know. I already forgot.
You forgot the light or the cameras on us?
I guess both. Oh yeah. Hey. Hi.
Yeah. Hey guys, what's going on?
He's about to.
My man Dave is here in the house. We're actually at his apartment right now doing this podcast. Oh, pretty cool. Look, you got a fucking Shaq and Kobe right there. That's pretty dope.
Turn the cameras and show that.
Yeah, I would do that later on. Probably get like a quick splash of that and then go to do a cutaway.
Authentic pastel. I got that art in the park in 2001.
That's Jimi Hendrix right there, right? Is that Hendrix?
Jimmy, yeah, it goes from left.
That's Jimmy. That's a fucking what's his name? John Lennon, and that's fucking Aerosmith. No. That ain't Aerosmith.
How dare you? Steven Tyler's got a bigger mouth. Like they almost say he has like a pumpkin mouth, because like his mouth it's like almost too big for his face. He's got like a big.
How do you look at a man and kind of like look at another man and measure the mouth? Is that the first feature that comes to mind? You're like
the one who first noticed. Okay?
You're not.
It's an open secret or whatever they call it. No, it's Jim Morrison, man. It's Jim Morrison from The Doors. Okay. You ever heard of The Doors? Come on, baby, light my fire.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
LA woman.
Cool, man. It's a pretty good, nice apartment, and clearly families over there.
Yeah.
Who were some of your inspiration getting into comedy? Let's get into all that.
That's a common question.
Yeah. Well, I kind of have to ask you that question because my platform probably needs to know that too. Yeah. You probably said it so many times, like verbal diarrhea, second muscle reflex.
I think I said it in the Windsor Star interview when I was like 22 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, initially I watched the Chappelle show.
Oh, okay.
I mispronounced. I call it Chappelle show.
Oh, the Chapel at the time?
Yeah. I was sitting in my TV room in my old house, and it came on TV, and then it was the first episode where he was the blind black.
Oh, the blind black guy. Yeah. I remember that episode. Fuck.
It was one of like the funniest things, because just I think the best comedy is taking a situation, and it's easy to say you just take it and flip it or whatever, but it's getting the reaction of the people who weren't expecting it, and like giving an original take on something that people already know about, or that's like quote unquote conventional. Because like people have done, what if like black guy was, had this experience and that, give the inverse of it, and that's actually I know this is the only one and only time I've ever used this fucking stupid theory, but it's called incongruity theory, where it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger on a unicycle is hilarious because he's this big burly guy, and he's got this, this little tiny.
You got that fucking image in my mind. I'm trying to picture Arnold on a unicycle cycle now. It's wild.
Yeah, it's all shoulder and fucking chin, basically. Hey, have you seen his? He has like, I think the kid he had from when he like had sex with the maid is like.
Oh yeah, from like 20 years ago. Yeah.
It's the funniest thing.
He must be 40 now at least, because he was already 18 then when the story broke out. Yeah. So he must be like 38. He's 40 now for sure. Yeah. If they say he was 18, he was probably 3 years old.
Like Mark Sanchez, if you fucking shaved him down a bit.
Oh, I haven't seen him. So, what is he? Did he come up in the news recently? Is this how you know about it, or you just kind of follow him?
It's just my ADD. I have no idea. But yeah, like anyway, so yeah, like basically, it was that, and then I don't know. I've always been a visual person. I like to create and write and stuff. Ever since I can remember, like my grandmother told me when she was teaching me how to read. She said I could read when I was about 3 years old, and I memorized an entire book. Like
that's crazy.
Green Eggs and Ham, Cat, and it's not like a giant book, but for a second,
For a 3-year-old, I mean.
Yeah, and she said I memorized it like quickly, and so like when she had me read another book, I couldn't sound out the words and stuff. She's teaching me phonics, It's crazy they don't really teach kids how to read that way anymore. But like it's classic, man. You got to know your fundamentals. It's an example there. But yeah, like it was that, and then. I don't forget where we're going with this.
I forgot where we're going with this. Yeah, I think there's a lot of.
But basically, like yeah.
You're sticking. Yeah, I think you answered the question though. The question was basically what inspired you to start your comedy journey, and then you start from there. And
I was more comfortable being in front of people than like off stage.
And how often like did you like bomb, or like you've been so lucky you never bomb?
People that never bomb, it's like people who fight that never get knocked out, or at least
right.
Decision, You need to have something, and comedy's not one of those things. If you have even a slight too much of an ego and not enough humility, or at least the mental, ability to just kind of take the beatings, right? Because like it's different. There's different types of comedy. I think Joey Diaz talked about this.
Yeah, Diaz is wild, man.
Yeah, but he even said this from the Judy Carter thing. There's like comedy where the people know that they know what you do and they come to see you, and they're expecting to laugh, and they paid for drinks and stuff, and paid for parking, they had to get a babysitter and what have you. And then there's people who like just it's an open mic or it's at a bar. Maybe they charge cover, maybe they don't, and you have to win them. You have to win their attention because they're talking louder. There's a football game on, or some other side distraction that's going on, and it's your job to engage them, but also like it depends, man. Like I've seen certain people's styles work with that and some not, and they have to figure out how to kind of create that dialogue. And one of my early shows, like I listened to the tape, and even that's just fucking torture to listen to yourself, like just as your voice, and even how your cadence can maybe be thrown off, or you're listening, you're like it's like watching game tape. You listen to you watch the game tape, and you're like, oh, that's where I fucked up, or that's where I panicked, or that's where.
You become your biggest critique.
You become your critic, but you make the adjustment. You make the adjustment, and for those shows in particular, they're some of the most fun because then you feel like you can do any type of show. You've had to handle chaos just going on. Fucking people are fighting. There's drinks going on in the background. There's a trivia night or whatever.
No, you're absolutely right. But I think that's if you can just overcome that little bit, and that's just the beginning too. If you overcome that little bit, then you know that okay. You're ready for the next level kind of thing, right? A lot of people can't really stand their voice. I remember the first time I heard my voice of just like recording, because I initially just started doing music way back in the days, and I was like, oh shit, who the fuck is that guy? I don't want to hear him no more. But like, it goes from there. And then of course when I started with the podcast thing, I remember the very first episode, I recorded it and deleted and recorded and deleted until it got to a point I was like, okay, buddy, you're going to record this thing one more time, and we're not going to delete it,
no matter what happens. You're never satisfied.
It's never going to be perfect. Yeah.
Absolutely, and
It's never going to be perfect.
you know what? Because I think that there's something to be said about that. Because to me, the people who are instantly satisfied and think it's a work of art normally aren't in touch with reality, or they kind of suck, a little bit.
That's a very good point. I like that.
If
Yeah,
you're
absolutely.
not,
Yeah. Good point.
there's a fine line between self-critical and sometimes like even what I do, like I kind of get too hypercritical, and then you kind of fucks with your ability to even just assess in general, because you overthink or over whatever. But the inverse of that, or the opposite of that, is I think even worse, because then then you don't realize. So it's I think the best comedy comes from just people being themselves, and people are being honest with themselves.
No, I'm with that 100%. I'm with that. I think that, but I like what you did, little bit you said there, is that people who I, satisfied. It's like when you meet, sometimes I always bring these relationship type of analogy into very serious conversation.
It's universal, isn't it? It is. Yeah.
Universal, because it's one of those things that everybody can relate to, and no one can be like, oh, well, I don't know what experience you're talking about. It's not a hard experience. People, it's an easy one. It's a perfect one to go into. So like, you start seeing somebody, whatever, you meet the girl the first night, you guys get along great, you go home, you have sex, incredible, blah, blah, call.
On the first date, goddamn, Rico Suave.
Yeah, you gotta move.
Rico
You gotta move
Suave
quick,
over
dog.
here, man.
You gotta move quick. Oh yeah, you gotta move quick.
Yeah,
you don't.
that's what the black glove's for. It's
I never thought about it, but
Yeah,
thanks for
man.
pointing that out. You're telling my secret like that.
like your nails are painted or something on that hand. You're hiding something.
What was that? What was that? What was the name
You
of
have a
that porn
fucking
star?
great hand. That's why you have the black glove.
That's what it is. Yeah. Some guy actually. Why am I sidegoing now? But just to explain this black gloves, a guy at the barbershop gave me this.
Oh, for real?
Because I had another one and they were big for me. It's like, oh, no. Take this one. It's Babylon Barbershop right here in Windsor.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been there forever. Like, it's a good guy. I had an interview with him there just a little while. But, yeah, so, and you find like those type of relationships stop moving very, very fast. It's only because two people are caught up in the moment and they think that it will go. But eventually it doesn't go anywhere, because you didn't really get a chance to get to know each other on like any serious level, or like find a value.
And isn't it funny, like sometimes like your friends or people, they won't maybe straight out tell you, but like they'll know. So some people like have like a Uber pool or like a betting pool. It's like, all right, you think it's gonna last this long? It's funny. My grandparents, I think they, as my grandfather said, they did not like my grandmother, or whatever. I don't know, whatever. It's
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And it's like, oh, it'll never last. And meanwhile, they're married for like 55 years.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But sometimes you make friends in a very interesting way, where like the friendship doesn't start off the way that traditional friendship started, with the hello, how are you, whatever. Sometimes friendship, I remember like some of the earlier friends that I made, like we got in a serious fight. We didn't even like each other right from the gate. Like, it's like, yo, dude, I don't really like you. And it's like this whole fight break out. But then after that point, something happens. Two people just realize that, hey, you know what? They were supposed to be friends, and they decide to like work on that friendship type of deal.
They probably had a lot more in common than they thought in the first place.
I think that's exactly what it is. Sometimes you come in, it's like there's this thing with the when you're in a jungle, like what is it, the king cobra? When they meet each other, they always got to fight because they can't coexist in the same environment, right? Because they want like this. I think the lion does that too, but they want like this whole control thing.
Because
And
they're apex predators.
right. So yeah, and sometimes your personality may be the same personality as someone else. So then when you meet, it's like, yo, okay, I can coexist as one or the other. But then you get in this fight, you get over that point, and you're like, okay, where animals all. What's life? What's the definition of life for you?
What is the meaning of life? Yeah. Oh God, that's such a fucking broad question. Jesus Christ.
Let's get into something, bro.
I don't know. It's more than just fucking staying home all the time. That's I know that for sure. It's taught you anything, measured risks, but risks, yeah. It's a broad. I don't know. It's whatever fucking makes you happy. Honestly, some people like think the meaning of life is just like living a Norm from Cheers life, where you just have a place where you go to and then that's it. Some people want to.
Yeah.
Have
But how do we come to
vacation.
like a fulfilling life though? that part of it where you get to a point and you're like, man, my life is pretty fulfilled because
I don't know. Start a OnlyFans.
start an OnlyFans fan page.
Yeah, fuck, man. Yeah, I mean,
Do you have one?
no, not thankfully, no. Thankfully, no. I'm just a consumer. Just a consumer, buddy. No, I'm just kidding.
How many of those do you have?
No.
I had a gentleman on my podcast.
I mostly follow comics because like they do like podcasts on there and stuff. So that like they can like show the more X-rated stuff on there and like fuck around and stuff. Yeah, I had this bit where I was like, it's not well worked out at all. It's just like a premise where I was like, they've been figuring out how to do school this year for kids. I think that they should do school. Yeah, they should not, before you fucking say I'm a monster, to a certain age, okay? To a certain age, they should do school on OnlyFans. Maybe for like, they'd pay a lot more attention, learn a lot more about economics, fucking learn how to sell. They fucking don't know how to sell anything.
Who's getting started?
Psychology.
The teachers are going to have their OnlyFans page.
Maybe in Florida, some of those hot ones, fuck, dude. Are you kidding me? That'd be amazing. God damn it! Just for 1 second, these fucking they've had it too good for too long. Okay, with these hot fucking teachers, right at college. Right. It's not fair. That's the real. That's the real.
For educational purposes.
Yes, exactly.
I don't know if that's
it should be taught in business, man. Maybe here's a practical way. They should have seminars, like business seminars.
Kids.
No, like not for kids, but like in business school, like in like for a certain age of like high school, like from like 18 up or something. I could see that. Yeah, just to
have like some fair in high school.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like nefarious things that you talk about. Just like what interests people and like how to get eyes on you and stuff and like grab attention and stuff like that. I think there's something to be said with that. It's kind of a hack term now, but it's like, hey, don't hate the player, hate the game. But at least know the game. On some level, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, know the people who know the game.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, that's interesting. I met these young people a while ago, and apparently they have a Tinder, but this Tinder page was, medium was created for student primarily, and it wasn't for dating. It was to share school work on there and steady with a buddy type of deal.
Just to kind of interact.
Yeah.
And we just have the people interacting.
Yeah, it fucking turned into a dating site with student. So I was like, anyway, they said the name. I can't remember some yo-yo name, some funny name. I don't fucking know what they called it. But yeah, so now they turned that shit into a dating site. So I'm like, nothing is really safe anymore. Like, are we as people getting away from human to human connectivity like this here now?
Yeah. It's one of the reasons why I agreed to do this. Even Zoom, I feel like the timing is off.
I don't like Zoom. Yeah, it always fuck up my videos. They fucking
Somebody's got a bad internet connection. It's just a nightmare.
Dude, it's horrible. Yeah, or they got a bad microphone.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. I thought about this too. Like, what about the people, like, say they have like older relatives or just somebody who's not
inclined, like
not inclined, or like maybe they don't know where their webcam is or their camera is,
and they're fucking trying to find it.
No, I'm talking about the people like they're too close to the camera, so like you can hear their audio, but it's just a black screen.
It's just a black screen.
And you're like, dude, where the fuck are you?
Yeah.
And it's like
no, right here, I'm close.
It's like, oh, you just gotta zoom out on your face.
Yeah,
it's just everything, and it's or like I swear to God, this is kind of morbid, but whatever. I had like a Zoom visitation for like one of my older relatives. Like,
okay.
They had to limit the size of the people who could go to the funeral. Yeah, which that's to me that's the fucking darkest shit of all this year. You can't
Dude, that's some cold ass shit.
Yeah,
Can't go to your grandfather's funeral, your grandmother's funeral, or your father's funeral because COVID.
Yeah.
That's some fucking.
But you go for the party after, right? So at least there's gonna be something after. People be drinking,
Yeah.
But then
But you can go to the bar or whatever. Like, man, yeah, no.
Yeah, but like we had like a Zoom visitation for one of my older relatives, and I think when I was watching it, like my one cousin was too close to the camera. It's like she had to back out. I was like, you gotta back.
So you're speaking
yeah,
from experience.
back out for a second.
Yeah, too close.
Like, I can see your entire nasal cavity, and we didn't have to start the phone call this way. So if anything, like it's made interacting with your relatives more funny, you know.
Yeah, I don't think Zoom and stuff like that right now anyway should be used professionally. I think it's great for family interaction because it's just a platform, much like Skype, that helps you, or Facebook Live video, whatever platform you're on. Now we all have these videos, things that we can do on there. But I think it's good for that purpose. But for you to use that shit like professionally with like people, because I'm a new podcaster, a lot of my guests are either people that have very little experience to no experience doing the podcast, right?
Broad spectrum, huh?
Right. So then you kind of have like, so having someone like that on the platform who doesn't have a mic system or haven't really figured out the whole audio thing, then you start to get this crazy audio at the end of the day, right? Dude, you're really going in. What's this now? You're done with the other one?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's in this one?
It's still the same.
Oh, still, you're just switching it up.
Yeah. This is an indica hybrid. I go for like heavy indicas.
So how many times? Okay, let's talk about this now. So how many times a day, like, are you consuming?
Most days, and I like to do it before workouts in particular. It's a bronchodilator, which people don't know, so it does open up the lungs and it clears out a lot of. That's why certain cases, people have asthma or they have breathing problems.
This helps.
It does, I more like the vaporizing because it's not as harsh on your lungs and you're not inhaling as much butane. But most days, man, it lets me slow my thoughts down a bit more, compartmentalize a bit, and then even yesterday I was listening to like an Inspector Deck album, like one of the mid Wu-Tang albums.
Okay.
And it was I think it was him and Jizza, and I think it was INS. That was the name. I have to look at my playlist, but it was like 57 minutes long, and it's one of the rare albums where I can say every single song is a banger. There's not one skippable song. Every single song is a banger. You can work out to it. There's a couple that are more ballady even for like hip hop. That's rare. There's a couple that have a bit more of like a harder beat to it. There's more of a melody. It's like softer. It covers like every genre. And to me, like that's a real fucking artist there. They appreciate the full spectrum.
They appreciate the full spectrum. Don't you miss? I miss that now. I haven't bought. I wouldn't even spend my money buying albums because it's completely garbage. But going back to like the Wu, I remember the Capadonna album. I think it was called The Pittler, or the Pellish. And it was just like, yo, that album, like you can play the whole shit front to back. And it was just dope. It was just from beginning to end. And there was so many albums like that. Even the Cannabis's album, Knockout, was that what it was called? KO? KO Knockout, the one with where Mike Tyson does like the intro. Oh, I heard that beat. Yes. Good thing I was talking.
It's okay. We can do a little more. I love talking music.
Yeah. So like I listen like so many good albums. Like when Sticky Finger released his fucking debut album where it goes into it's like a whole movie. Like there's no way you can listen to that album back to back to back. It's just wild.
But it makes you segues into the other. You don't even realize.
Yes.
Like the first minute or two, but also they had, like I said, they had just the diversity and the music. I think you're missing that, but it's genuine diversity. It's not contrived or forced. And I think that's lost on a lot of artists.
Oh, dude, it's lost in the industry. It's not even on the artist because the artist is going to produce whatever they. I mean, it's both on the artist's responsibility as well as the producers or like the corporation that controls that, the distributors and things like that, and what they're looking for, right? But I think they just kill music, man. All the shit we're hearing is garbage.
I find they're becoming more obsolete nowadays because especially with people having their own platforms. Like there's like more like underground scenes. Like when I was working at CJAM, shout out to them. They're at the university. When I was working there, CJAM FM 99.1. Get your free CJAM. I don't know if it's free anymore.
Shout out CJAM.
Issues recently, whatever, just with the lockdown. But I first did like a little internship there when I first came out of high school, and some of the bands I'd never even heard of. And you listen to a couple of albums, you're like, damn, fucking Chicago has a whole underground scene. You're like, Seattle has Seattle. So one of my favorite rappers, I can't remember his goddamn name, but one of my favorite rappers this year was from Seattle, and he's just like an underground dude, and his beats go hard, and you would assume Seattle had that whole grunge thing back in the '90s, so you assume it's more in the vein of that. But this guy, like, no, it's like fucking, it sounds like Brooklyn hip hop, or it sounds like maybe Toronto hip hop. I'll look.
But I miss that so much, where you could turn the music on, and right from like the first bar, you're like, okay, he's from New York. Yeah. He's from Jersey.
The South, or this
he's
like
from
guy.
yeah.
This
It's
like
like
Killer Mike one.
yeah. You got it instantly. You got it. It's like when you watch a good movie, and the characters just hit you because the writer has done such a great job at researching the importance of the era and putting it all into this character, and you're like, oh yeah, I felt that pain.
Wait, do you find that
fucking shit is not like that no more.
Now is authenticity, because
fuck
things
yeah.
are so contrived and you can modify anything with a computer and all that.
Okay, fuck yeah. Now, album came. Are you familiar with Jay Electronica?
I've heard of the name. Is he a Detroit guy?
Where is Jay Electronica from? He might be from Detroit.
Because he does like indie, like electronic shows, right? He's an underground guy.
Jay Electronica, man. So hip hop artist, just fucking beautiful hip hop artist, man. Like you're gonna appreciate some Jay Electronica. The Exhibit series that he released a few years ago. But the reason I even bring him up is because like he released an album just recently, and I was rather like kind of mad because not because the album isn't good, but I was trying to figure out if it was a Jay Electronica album or if it was a Jay Electronica or if it was like a Jay-Z album. You understand what I'm saying? I understand like they kind of like gotten like really close, whatever. But I really, really just wanted to hear a fucking Jay Electronica album. I didn't want to hear like a fucking Jay-Z on the album. I've been hearing Jay-Z. I grew up on Jay-Z. Exactly. I grew up on Jay-Z. I got to send you this link when I find it. But Jay Electronica is freaking fucking that guy. It's just another animal.
It's honestly, and like what I think what the initial point, at least of that, was you need to be exposed to different people, like different instances and different circumstances. Oh yeah, this guy. Yeah. No, I think I've heard of him.
You heard of him?
Yeah.
You've got to listen to his Exhibit series that he Exhibit A and up to like C is crazy, nuts. Yeah, he goes in. Yeah, nah, he's fucking gifted, this guy. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, I was mad about the fact that it was mostly Jay-Z and him on that album. I didn't like that at all. I was pissed off.
Yeah, it was just kind of odd. Yeah, sometimes, here's the thing, though. I didn't get this when I was younger. I was like, well, why are they changing up their sound? It's like people like this, and this. It's like, yeah, but if you really want to grow as an artist or you want to figure out your style in particular, you have to try different shit. You can have influences. And sometimes it works for you, sometimes it doesn't, man. But the only way to know is to do it,
Absolutely. And that's a motto like a lot of people don't really live by anymore. I don't even think no one cares about all these things anymore. Because as soon as you say shit like that, people become, oh no, you're just old talk. That's just old talking. It's like, but these things are so fucking important because so many people are so freaking scared. And
no, I think ask anybody great in any profession, they got their influences from. They've asked the people who were great before them, and they know that it's from a diversity of places, from an assortment of places, not just one or the other. If that's like it's how we evolve, and it's the reason why we're able to survive, man. It's passing. It's why I guess we can end on this, or we can go whatever. But I get the term cultural appropriation, but to me it's a fucking buzzword, like a lot of these things are. I think cultures borrow from each other, and the history can dictate, and it's not. Sometimes it can come from a good history, whatever. Either way, most history is conflict, and we just have to deal with that because we're always in that conflict. But I think that's how we grow, man. We grow from sharing ideas. We grow from learning and trials and tribulations.
Yeah, yeah. I think on that note, it's like my view of that is sometimes great things come out of this entire cultural mixing sort of ideas. Yeah. Fantastic, phenomenal things come out of it.
Even just to say that, like, this area is rich in culture. Like, this is the most, like the most northern point of the Underground Railroad. As most people don't know, like they have like a mural.
Right here, here in Windsor.
Yeah. Some of the first black everything came from here in Canada.
Can you imagine what it was like? I just find out that in Calgary, the first set of black people to come in Calgary was back in 1919, around there, and you wonder like how were they greeted, right? So what happened was the native Canadians back in those days actually went to the border to meet these people with like hostility, and it wasn't a pretty sight at all. So it was like this sort of like big old conflict, you know, people like, nah, don't come over here, don't just, you stay the fuck over there, and blah blah blah, and this whole thing started. So it's actually rather interesting. Do you remember at all how maybe like they were even greeted?
Do I remember personally? I wasn't there.
Well, not you remember, but I just mean like from what you look into.
What am I doing? I'm at the border running away from arrows. My head's already scalped. I'm going bald.
Right. 400 years
Just
later.
For men, that's my cousin talking stick. Shaving stick.
Yeah, but like, you know, in your research, I'm taking that you probably look into that a little bit, or you just kind of hear,
A little bit. I didn't know about that. That's fascinating to me. Yeah, it's really fascinating to me. Yeah, it's funny, you know, a lot of those initial interactions, it's all fear-based, dude. It's all fear-based, especially if you put yourself in their position. These are people who are probably famished, probably trying to escape whatever, and, you know, Native Americans and blacks, you know, who has more in common than us, you know, that is literally my background. So it's I don't know, I think, what am I trying to say here?
Whatever it is, you got about like 15 seconds.
I think we're gonna be all right. I think there's a lot of panic and stuff, but trust me, like the less stimulus you take in from social media and from outside sources, the happier you are, and the more you focus on yourself, the happier you are. So I think when you get through this, they'll treat it. They're already at the point where they can treat it at least a little bit, and you know, have a strong community. If anything, this has made us realize the importance of community, communication, and you know, I don't know, the people that are gonna thrive from this, it's gonna be like a phoenix coming from the ashes. It's gonna be the caterpillar and butterfly thing. So, I honestly have hope for that. But yeah, be kind to each other and party on, dudes, or whatever Bill and Ted says. Yeah, other than that, just follow me on all my platforms. Dave Squeaky Wheelz with the Z. On Facebook, DAVESQUEAKY, Wheelz with the Z. And then same thing on Instagram, same thing on Twitter. I do have a Twitch stream. It's in my leg. It's whenever I shake my leg when I pee. That's what I call my Twitch stream. Hey, look, what do you expect, okay? What do you expect? No comedy, yelling at my fucking walls and my stuffed animals. But, you know, anyways, yeah, Twitch, Dave Squeaky Wheelz OG. And thank you so much for having me, Rico. This has been fun. I think this is fun. People need to have more conversations like this. This is all very copacetic. Yeah, it's cathartic too. You know?
It is 100%. And yo, I want to thank you for agreeing to be on the show, especially during this time. And you know, once again, guys, if you want to find, you can find me 18th Avenue Podcast on all platforms. That's Instagram, Facebook. Thank you so much, and follow the network. Keep supporting, and yeah, let us know what you got from this content. Thank you so much, and peace. Windsor is waving to you.